Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Happy Friday, everybody. I know I typically upload these like earlier in the week, but just kind of the way my schedule went, I just went ahead and got out the Saturday night locals episodes first, and now we're getting into the feature matches for the last part of the week and into the weekend. Hope you guys are going to enjoy. We have the Tri-Spright mirror match. It's sort of a mirror match. The deck on the left, piloted by my friend John, is not on the adventurer engine. My friend Charlie here on the right is on the adventurer engine, but they are both playing Tri-Brigade and Sprite cards alike. I think that is, again, the only difference between these two lists is that one is on adventure and the other one is not. So we'll see how it plays out. We're going to see him spec Griffin Rider, and then before he gets locked into twos, we'll see him use starter. Well, summon Griffin Rider before he gets locked into twos, and then starter for blue for Jet. Jet effect is going to get hit with an Imperm. Probably trying to keep him off of Smashers. Definitely not a bad idea when you're playing a, maybe can be a dependent, like a normal summon dependent hand where you need to stick a body and one Smashers could just be the end of it. So cutting them off access from that can be very good. So we're going to see him go into the Elf after summoning out, I believe it was a Kit from the deck. And then linking into Elf with those two. Kit will trigger the graveyard effect to dump Nerval, and then Fractal is going to go ahead and activate its effect once it gets added off the Nerval to go ahead and dump another Kit just to load up the graveyard with some names. We're going to see Elf attempt to bring back the Kit. It's going to hit with DD Crow, and that will pretty much do it for the turn there. The only adventurer cards he's able to get access to there is just the Griffin Rider, unfortunately. Now, if he would have been able to get access to Right, probably would have been able to beat the DD Crow and maybe would have assembled some kind of board, but, you know, just kind of unfortunate here. We're going to see him normal summon Nimble Beaver. Nimble Beaver effect to attempt to go ahead and summon out, I believe, another Nimble monster from the deck. It's going to go ahead and get negated by Imperm. We'll see if our Tri-Spright player on the left here has anything in response to this to try to beat it. Imperm on this does seem kind of, you know, hit or miss, because he could have starter in hand. He could have another, any Sprite monster, really. And I think that's probably the, I mean, I guess he could have Karis too, would be another punish to that. But he does have the starter. I mean, you have to, I feel like you have to maybe take the chance there, right? Because then again, they could play around Imperm pretty easily later on by going for Elf, then going for something like Gigantic underneath the Elf. I don't know. What do you guys think about that Imperm? Would you Imperm there? I don't know if I would have Imperm there. Especially, I mean, they did use 2 cards already. They were down 2 hand traps. You know, they did use Imperm Crow, so they only started that turn with 4 cards in hand. Normal the Beaver, they got 3 cards left. Do you take that chance there? I don't know if I'd take that chance. I don't know. By the way, Blue's going to come out. Blue's going to go ahead and grab a copy of Jet, as it typically does. Also, I want to preface this. My friend John on the left here, I think he's very, very new to this version of the deck. So if he's not a pro at it, right, please bear with him. It was his first time back at locals for several months, so I wanted to have him on the camera as kind of a welcome back. And my friend Charlie on the right here, I know he was on the previous week and was making tons of misplays that I'm surprised I didn't catch, because I was unfamiliar with some of the Tri-Brigade restrictions and how they, you know, can go against some Sprite stuff. So he is learned a lot from that match going up, and, you know, knowing to not repeat those same mistakes. So we're going to see him get Smashers, and he's going to fire the Smashers here. Importantly, going to force out the Elf, because it's kind of a use it or lose it here since Smashers does not target. So he will force out the Elf. Elf's going to bring out Blue, so we can go after one of the back row now that the Elf's technically not really a threat anymore at this point. And it's going to hit a set Draco back. So opening up 2 relative bricks from the Adventure engine here in this opening hand. Both of one of, you know, Draco back and the Griffin Rider. Shoutouts to Magnificent Mavens for providing us no token for Sword Soul or Adventure, but providing us a token for an archetype that isn't even out yet. Shoutouts to Mama. We're going to see him get access to Gigantic, and that is going to get hit with a Droplet. So both players having to fight through quite a bit of interruption to get where they need to be. And I think I see a Droplet in the hand of our other Sprite player, our turn player, Tri-Spright player right now. Droplet maybe seeing and regaining some more popularity in this format. It's been a very long time since I've seen a lot of people on Droplet. Card's obviously very, very good, so it's always nice to see that. And yeah, it looks like the writing is on the wall there, and we're going to see our Sprite player on the left there admit defeat, and we are into a game 2, guys. Quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. They just came out with brand new Scapegoat dice. clear dice with little scapegoat figurines on the inside if you want to pick some up and you want to get them at a discount. Check out their site, link below, and don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And with all that being said, we're going to continue on with the game here. We're going to see him lead with starter into blue, blue into searched jet. I think I see a pointer of the Red Lotus in hand, and kit. One of the spell, I think that was called by the grave. Another spell might be Forbidden Droplet. So opening pretty above average here. Finding that one, a pointer of the Red Lotus, could be a game ender here, honestly. And this is like when Konami limits certain cards like this, it almost doesn't make any sense to me, because the only thing you're doing now is like people, like a pointer is such a good card. Same thing with Called By and Red Reboot. Like, these are such good cards that you're going to pretty much always try to play them regardless of the quantity that you could play them at. Right? Like, that's just my logic behind it. And it seems so, like, unfortunate to have them hit down to 1, because then you just create these situations where, like, sure, they don't have it every game, but then, you know, it's such a low chance now that you're just going to get sacked by it every now and then, and it's just going to feel super bad to lose to your opponent drawing a one of, an unsearchable one of. Like, that always feels very bad. Like, it always feels bad getting hit with the one of Called By, always got bad getting hit by the one of Red Reboot, and now the Appointer. Like, these are cards that I wish were at 3, because then you could always expect them and play accordingly. You don't really always have to respect cards when they're at 1, because like the chance of them being seen, especially if they're unsearchable, is usually very low, and you can get away with not respecting them most of the time. And then you just have these instances come up every now and then where the opponent just happens to draw it and you lose outright because of it. And we're seeing 2 of those one-ofs in the hand here. We're seeing Called By the Grave, and we're seeing a pointer of the Red Lotus. I don't know. Like, I just don't like when super omega powerful cards like that get hit to 1. Like, they should just be banned if they're that much of a problem. I don't think hitting them to 1 really does too much to begin with. And that's just my little rant there. So we're going to see him link into Bear Brum, resolve the Farragut effect. Now using Kit on board to go ahead and bring out Double Dragon Lords, and then linking off the Bear and the Kit into Pit Knight early, triggering the effect here of Bear Brum in the graveyard to go ahead and add a copy of Revolt, and then putting a card from the hand back to the bottom of the deck. And now at this point can only summon, I believe, Beast Warriors, or Winged Beasts from the extra deck because of Bear Brum's restriction. So having Pit Knight early, Double Dragon Lords, Elf, and Carrot with 2 sets. We know them both to be Smashers, and, well, one of them is probably going to be the, I was going to say the Smasher's most likely in hand because he's got the Appointer set, and the other card being Revolt. So he's going to go ahead and read a Pointer here. There is a cost to be paid first, which is to pay 2,000 and reveal your own hand. So he does have a chance to respond to fire some cards out of the hand first before they get pulled. It looks like we're going to see just Starter and Droplet being chained, sending off the Starter and the Kit in hand. So we can go ahead and turn off 2 cards here. Looks like he's going to go ahead and hit the Double Dragon Lords and the Elf. Because if you turn off, I believe, both Double Dragon Lords and Elf, Pit Knight early is no longer a threat. Unless he pointed to the Pit Knight there. Kind of hard to tell. Because obviously monsters that are negated by Droplet can still activate their effects. And we're going to see Starter resolve, bringing out a blue here to go ahead and search. Well, that will resolve on a new chain, I believe. So yeah, Chainlink 1 Appointer, Chainlink 2 Starter, Chainlink 3 Droplet. Droplet resolves, Starter resolves, Appointer resolves. So yeah, this blue will resolve on a new chain. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up Pit Knight early here on my phone because I can't do it on DB because DB is down. And he will hit the Jet out of hand. Yeah, it says when a monster this card points to activates its effect. You can target one monster. So technically, if the Elf is negated, Pit Knight early can still trigger off of that because Elf can still attempt to activate its effects. And it looks like in response to the blue, we're going to see Double Dragon Lords and then chaining Pit Knight early to that to negate the blue. If that's how that works, I'm assuming that's how it works. I don't know if Pit Knight Early like is one of those types of cards that has to resolve on a new chain, or if it can react directly in response to something that is activating its effects, whatever it points to. But he will still get the kit effect. He does obviously have another blue in hand, so we can just special summon that out for free. He doesn't get the jet search. Well, he doesn't get to search out the jet because that blue would be negated by the Pit Knight. But he can still go ahead and just get 2 level 2 bodies to get access to Gigantic. But there is still a... Well, the Smashers is not in the back row anymore. But there is a Revolt in the back row, which might as well be Smashers at this point. And I want to say that if you clear the Gigantic right now, I want to say the turn is pretty much just over. Because we know the last card in hand to be evenly matched. But sure, evenly matched. And then you just lose to the Tri-Brigade follow-up anyways. So we're seeing bring back Bearbrum, which was properly link summoned. And bring back Nerval and Kit, or looks like Harass and Nerval. And then link 4, can't link with the carrot. Link 4 into Shureg, the Ominous Omen. And then I imagine we'll see Shureg 1, Nerval 2, or Nerval 1, Shureg 2. It really doesn't matter how you do your chain links here. We know the last card in the opponent's hand. No other threats to worry about here. And obviously that will resolve, getting banished. Leaving the opponent with just, I believe, an evenly matched in hand and one other card. I just don't think it's going to be enough here to try to push through the board. Because he did reveal, I believe, blue, jet, evenly. He does have normal summon Karis. He will use the effect. Banishing 2 to go ahead and summon the Farragut. I'm not really sure where this gets him, if I'm being totally honest. Link 2 into Elf, and then Farragut effect to try to draw into something good there. Not sure what he was hoping to draw there, but maybe Adventurer cards. But then again, he has Starter Lock, so he couldn't even use that. So I'm not sure what he was trying to draw into there. Maybe more Sprite cards, maybe a Jet. But either way, we are going to see him admit defeat, and we go to game 2. Shoutouts to TCG Player. If you guys want to support the channel by shopping on their site, don't forget to use my affiliate link found in the description of all my videos. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase goes right back in the channel and helps out a ton. So we will see him start with that Brave Engine here in game 3. We're also going to see the attack of the Cornered Rat as well on the field center. And we will see him bring out Fateful and Token, normal summon Karis. I was a little confused last game when he had the Karis in hand, but I was like, oh wait, he searched that off of the kit that he pitched off the droplet. So yeah, that made a little bit more sense. Get a little brain fog there. But then we're going to see him go ahead and get both Draco back and Griffin Rider. He'll discard the Draco back for Fateful, re-equip to the token, bring out Griffin Rider, bring out Sprite, I think that was Carrot, overlaying into Gigantic, and now the Brave Engine is fully in effect here, helping to at least dodge one hand trap at this point, and also have a nice little form of a Mystic Mine out via Draco back. And this is also the 5th summon, right? Draco back, Token, or Griffin Rider, Token, Carrot, Karis, and Gigantic 5th summon. The Gigantic will resolve here. Look like a little bit of hesitation from our our Tri-Spright player on the left, my friend John. A little bit of hesitation from him on the Gigantic, it looked like. So maybe he had some form of interruption that he wasn't sure if he wanted to fire there or not, but either way, the Gigantic will go ahead and resolve, bringing out a copy of Tri-Brigade Kit. Gonna go for a Link 2 here into Sprite Elf. That's gonna go ahead and trigger the effect of Kit since it did hit the graveyard to go ahead and dump Nerval. Loading the graveyard up with some names here, importantly, to be able to combo. And Nerval effect will activate. Go ahead and maybe grab Fractal here and then dump Fractal to dump another name to, again, incur some more advantage in the graveyard. But looks like you can go ahead and grab another copy of Karis. Karas, whatever you want to call him. Then he'll use Elf. Targeting Kit. No response there from John. Activating Kit, banishing 2. Will most likely go for a Farigit, could go for a Bearbrum. He will go for the double Dragon Lords. Set a card and pass turn. So I'm curious as to why he added the Karis there. I think he might have just been short a little bit on extenders to be able to get access to the double Dragon Lords plus the Farigit draw into the Bearbrum into the DDL. I think that's probably what was the reason behind not being able to go for the full board there. But then again, like, the adventurer cards are taking up some of that space in the hand, taking away a little bit of advantage. But again, you kind of get a little bit of an interruption out of it. It's like kind of a trade offer, if you will. You get the Griffin Rider and the Omni Negate it provides in place of maybe going for a Revolt. We're going to see John lead with Imperm on Griffin Rider since it was not summoned to his zone that is protected by Elf. So maybe a little bit of a unfortunate miss zone there. We will see a Harpy's Feather Duster come down. That's going to clear everything. The Dracoback will come back as it does. And then we'll see him activate Fractal. The only interruption online right now. Huh? Unless Imperm was used on the Elf, I guess Fractal is being negated by the Griffin Rider. I mean, I would have just assumed he would have negated the Griffin Rider with the Imperm, but I guess not. I guess maybe he went to Imperm the Elf, which I guess is fair enough. But, alright, so Fractal being negated there by the Griffin Rider. And we're going to see him follow up with Starter, luckily having some follow-up here. Is locked into 2s, so there's no option for sort of like a mass removal Zeus play at this point. We're going to go ahead and see the blue grab Jet. This looks like a bit of a tough situation to try to get out of. And we're going to see double Dragon Lords send off Kit to bounce the blue, not giving him any room to sort of play there just yet. But he does have the opportunity to normal summon, and he does have normal summon Kit. And that definitely will help provide a lot of advantage here. He will get to dump Nerval, though, off his opponent's. Well, his opponent will get to dump Nerval off his own Kit sent via double Dragon Lords. And that Nerval is going to go ahead and add a Fractal for follow-up. Jet will resolve, grabbing a copy of Smashers. And the Tri-Brigade engine might come in very clutch. He can special summon blue from a hand, since it was brought out via starter, so it being bounced back to the hand here, kind of helping his opponent out a little bit right now. He does have Cosmic Cyclone in hand too. Valor getting fired on Gigantic, so a couple hand traps here. Well, a hand trap here from our Adventurer Sprite player. And then going to go ahead and link 2 now into Elf. Kit triggering, dumping Nerval, adding Karis. Has a Nerval engrave, a Fractal, and a Kit. We're going to see Elf revive the Kit. And he, again, is 2-lock, so has no access to Sure Egg here. If you can set up possibly a Revolt, maybe that would be helpful, but, you know, you do still have to worry about DDL. But maybe not so much if you have the Smashers. See him activate Kit, banishing both Nerval and Fractal to go for a 2. We're going to go for Farigit. And could possibly link these 2 into a double Dragon Lords or into a Bearbrum. But then there's really nowhere to go from there. He'll use Farigit effect to go ahead and special summon Karis from the hand. And now definitely has a little bit more room to play, being able to keep that Smasher in hand and keep the Cosmic for next turn to act as some interruptions. Imagine we'll see him probably use Cosmic on the Dracoback before the turn is over, just so it is just kind of completely out of the loop. Could definitely set up a really decent board here. Gonna go for Bearbrum. Kit, or Farigit will trigger to draw and put one back, drawing into Carrot. Not a terrible card to see here. Again, still has access to Karis. Go to banish 2 to summon out the double Dragon Lords. and then can link off the Karis and the Bearbrum into Pit Knight early, get Revolt, and then you basically have set up your board here through the opponent's board. So go for the DDL. It looks like you put back the Cosmic Cyclone, which I guess is fair. You're not really too worried about the Fateful. And then he's going to go Battle Phase over the double Dragon Lords with Bearbrum for 100, and then double Dragon Lords over his Elf, which is huge because that's quite a bit of follow-up. And then main phase 2, we're going to see him link off Bearbrum and the Karis into Pit Knight early as expected. And Bearbrum is going to go ahead and search out Tri-Brigade Revolt. And imagine he's probably going to put back the Carrot here, right? Because you probably want to keep both Smashers and Revolt here. Except that's exactly what he's going to do. Full board set up. The only threat you really have to worry about right now is the Draco back, able to force out pretty much anything. But he does have Smashers for it, which is not like that great here, because he would have to clear something like his own Elf. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and chain Elf to the Draco back, which again, I guess is fine. You lose a little bit of targeting protection there, but Pit Knight early does have another arrow pointing to the right, so it can still trigger here off of the double Dragon Lords. We're going to see him chain, obviously, the Elf to bring out Jet. Jet will search starter. And then we're going to see Fractal dumping Kit. The Fractal we knew which was in hand from the previous turn. That was added for follow-up. And then Kit dumping another Fractal. And then we're going to see him commit the normal summon here to a Karis. And Smashers is going to fire off here, banishing starter, banishing Jet, banishing Karis. Opponent setting one, passing turn, end phase Revolt. And that is going to signal the end of the game. We're going to see regular Tri-Spright taking the dub there over the Adventurer engine. Not really too, sure how I feel about the Adventurer engine in the deck. I think maybe just the Tri-Brigade stuff and the Sprite stuff seem a little bit better. Makes the deck maybe a little bit more consistent. That's just my opinion. And yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justino, and HGH Cyber. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely kind and generous support of this channel.